Hello, this is Varsha Sharath. I'm a speech language pathologist at Lorem. So today we're going to focus on understanding learning disability better. So when we have a neurobiological or a genetic condition that causes a rewiring in the brain, we often face difficulties relating to processing or memory and learning. So when we say learning disability, most of the children who have early speech and language issues have later writing or reading problems, but most of them exhibit more complicated cases where we have reading difficulties, writing difficulties, visuospatial difficulties, memory related issues, where they have much difficulty coping up with their academic expectations. Consider the cases of Albert Einstein or Leonardo da Vinci. Both of them may not have been good in grammar or language or be it with spellings, but both of them have been extremely talented in physics and also art, and therefore they've left a print behind them. So if we had considered why aren't they able to learn better, why aren't they interested in language, why aren't they able to do spellings better, then we wouldn't have great people to look up to. So my point here is that every child has a talent or an ability. It's just up to us to find the right talent of the child and nurture it. So we, meaning the teachers, maybe the primary caregivers or the professionals. So what can be done in different situations? When you're at a school environment, a teacher plays an important role in identifying every child who has a difficulty with reading, maybe writing, maybe they're not following instructions, they need repetitions. So in a classroom environment, what you can see normally is when there's something in the board, a child is not able to copy it fastly. So maybe the teacher goes to the next page, but the child is still at the first page. They may have letter reversals. So instead of D, they may write B. They may have mathematical related issues, memory related issues. Often parents end up saying that, children who I've taught them so many times the same concept, but they don't register what I'm trying to teach. They're very inattentive, playful, they don't want to learn. But he is very good in other activities. Maybe he can play well, draw well. But when it comes to studies, he's very reluctant or he doesn't want to do it. So it's not a disorder or a disability, but it's a challenge that we have to see. So when we say challenge, maybe the child doesn't want to read it the way you're teaching him. It's the approach. So maybe he wants to be taught in a different modality. Maybe a child is good in auditory modality where he just hears stuff and he can always learn from it. Or maybe he needs visual stimulus where there are pictures, picture cards, or maybe we play videos and he understands better the same concept. We might have tried thousands of times teaching him auditorily by writing, but the moment you play a video or show a picture, the child grasps it better. So it's the ability of the child. Each one, not only children, each of the individuals, be it adults, they have different ways of learning. Maybe some people like it in tactile, using senses. Maybe children are better when you make them write with paint or say quicksand, or they write in anything, grains, they're better. But the same spelling, we expect them to write it in a notebook using a pen and a paper, they don't want to do it. So it's up to the modality. So as a teacher, you need to recognize what is the modality in which a child is able to learn better. So once the teachers have identified children who have difficulty, they're supposed to refer them to a professional, be it a speech language therapist or a psychologist or a pediatrician. The first step is to assess. But as SLPs, we focus on language-based skills. It can be oral language, reading, writing, their memory. We assess across the domains and focus on specific areas where the child has a difficulty. So picking on one domain, we focus on creating compensatory strategies to help the child learn better. It can be specific skill training or any other compensatory strategy that helps the child learn better. So after the teacher identifies a child who has a difficulty, they're supposed to refer them as soon as possible to a professional. It can be a speech language pathologist or a psychologist or a pediatrician. As a speech language pathologist, that is an SLP, what we do is to assess the language-based skills. It can be oral language, it can be anything related to reading, writing, their memory. Following assessment, we try to target specific domains and help them compensate. So whatever they're not able to do, we provide them with compensatory strategies, and plus specific skill training is focused. So many of the schools abroad have an SLP or a special educator which is exclusive to their school. So they help in identifying a child who has problems at an earlier stage. But in India, since we don't have such SLPs or special educators which are specific to a school, what we need are teachers who are more vigilant and aware of the problems the child can have, to notice them and then refer them as soon as possible. So what we can do is closely observe what are the skills, that is the academic skills or the language skills, and then help them perform better with little of professional help. So what we need to change over here is to change the approach and not the child. Hope these videos have been useful for you, and if you have any queries or questions, you can comment below. Thank you.